Put in that word. Another one.
What's up, everybody? How you doing? It's the Fantasy Typhoon. Checking in with you once again. Go ahead and smash the subscribe button. Go ahead and smash the like button. Go ahead and give me some comments. Let me know what you would like to see from the show coming up this year. Football is back. This is Sunday. Well, actually, this will be the last Sunday. Hopefully, hopefully we can evade COVID. This should be the last Sunday without football for a long time, folks. Yes, football is back. Boy, we've been waiting for this. A lot of you guys are drafting and doing things of that nature. Hope you got your plans together. If you need help, the fantasytyphoon@hotmail.com. I'm here to help. I didn't get a chance to do a draft kit this year, but we will have it, I guarantee you, next year. Now, this segment here, let me just go ahead and get out. This is focusing on the Rojo Fournette, happenings. We want to pull back the curtain, get in, and what really happened? What really happened in Ronald Jones Fournette? That had him available coming over to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. First of all, Fournette shouldn't even been available. First of all, that's incompetence on the Jaguars. But I'll finish with that. Right now, I just want to focus on what happened. All right, let's pull the covers back and get in. Now, before Bruce Arians got there, we know that it was Dirk Carter. Dirk Carter was the head coach, and Jason Light was the GM. They drafted Ronald Jones in the second round, and how I want to say this. Rojo came to the team in the midst of a power struggle. Carter was rising up to the Glazers, going back telling them things about Light, the GM. GM Light was going back to the Glazers, which are the owners of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, telling them things about Carter. So that was a power struggle, right? Then you put in the midst of the power struggle a draft. Of course, the GM is the one supposed to be in charge of the draft, but as you can see with Veach and Andy Reid, or if you see with Kyle Shanahan and the GM over there, if you see with Mike Mayock and with John Gruden, you see how front office and the head coach should be in unison working together. But they weren't at that time. Now, it comes to the second round. Jason Light is banging the table for Ronald Jones. And at the same time, the head coach at that time, Dirk Carter, was banging it. I didn't really get the information on who the player was, but he was banging for another player. He wanted to go in another direction. So, all right, here comes Rojo into the situation because, of course, Jason Light is the GM, so he's drafting basically who he wants to. So now you have a clash between the two. Now here comes Rojo into the picture. So he's already behind the 8 ball is what I'm saying. Now, Carter's running back was Barber, Jaquiz Rogers, Rojo, Sean Wilson, and Dare. Those were his running backs when he came into the game. Now, when Arians got there, Arians came in with, who did he have? Arians started out with Barber, let's see. Arians comes in with Barber, Jones, Dare Ogunbowale, Bruce Anderson, that's it. That's who I was thinking about. Bruce Anderson and Andre Ellington. That was his backfield once he entered into Tampa Bay. So Rojo went from a head coach who didn't want him to now another head coach. I didn't draft you, man. I don't owe you nothing. But Jason Light is still the guy that's in Rojo's corner. All right, so after that, Peyton Barber walks out the door. Bruce Anderson walks out the door. And Andre Ellington walk out the door. So now, coming into this season, only backs on the roster were Ronald Jones and Dare Ogunbowale. Hope I said his name right. So a lot of folks are saying, well, they drafted Keyshawn John to replace you, but in other words, they have to have a running back. You see what I'm trying to say? So it's not like, we drafted somebody to replace somebody. You just lost Peyton Barber, Andre Ellington, and Bruce Anderson out your running back room. Now you only have 2 running backs. So you got to add a running back, right? So during FA, they chose not to choose a running back during FA. So here comes the next chance to add talent to your team is via trade. They didn't trade. So here comes another opportunity to add talent to your team, to the running back room, was via the draft. All right, you look at the first round, that they needed an offensive a right tackle. They got Tristan Wirfs in the first round. Then the second round, that was when, if they really wanted a running back, that was the time to do it. You had everything in front of you. You could have had your hand at any. You could have had J.K. Dobbins if you wanted to. Nope. They chose not to do that. They went ahead and took a defense, took a guy to help defense. So now that leaves running back. They have to have a running back. So now they leave a running back in the third round. So when so the misconception is Keyshawn Vaughn came in to take Ronald Jones' job. Keyshawn Vaughn came in because they had to have a running back. It makes a big difference when you're looking at this picture, when you're looking at the truth of this picture. Now, they go into camp with Peyton Barber. They go into camp, Ronald Jones, Dare Ogunbowale, Keyshawn Vaughn, which they drafted, and then Raymond Calais, which they drafted in the 7th round. So they added 2 running backs during the draft because they had to. Remember, they lost Andre Ellington and Peyton Barber and Bruce Anderson, right? So now your running back room is 4 guys. Now, when COVID crept in, that took Keyshawn Vaughn out the way. So now they add LaShawn McCoy, and everybody thinks LaShawn McCoy was a step on Rojo, but LaShawn McCoy was just a replacement for Keyshawn Vaughn because they have to have a running back. You see what I'm trying to say? So it's not a knock on Ronald Jones, even though Bruce Arians came out and made it public that Ronald Jones was the guy. He's going to give Ronald Jones the carries. This is his backfield, and that's true. 1 week away from camp, Ronald Jones is the lead back. All 3 downs. It's his show, yes. But you got to look at what they're working with there in Tampa Bay. You got Tom Brady on a 2-year lease. You got Gronk on a 2-year lease. Shady McCoy is not really going to do what you want him to as far as in a 2-year span. They want a Super Bowl. Let's just go ahead and call it what it is. Now, here comes a top 10 pick in the first round of an NFL draft, running back, cleared waivers. Now he's basically free to sign. Of course you're taking that deal. Absolutely. Now put yourself in, I'm talking about come out of fantasy for a minute. Get out of fantasy. To understand these things, you gotta please come out of fantasy just for a second and come into the real world and look at this situation for what it really is. If you were a GM sitting there, you got Ronald Jones, you got an agent McCoy, you got a rookie who's never He never played. When he did get cleared from COVID and got a chance to play, they gave him a shot with the ones. The first carry, he got a tackle for the loss. The second carry, he fumbled. Not only fumbled, he lost it. And then the third carry, he got a tackle for loss. So he's a healthy scratch now. You got Daryl Ogbumawale, who was basically special teams. You can try to pump him up all you want. That was special teams. Then you got Raymond Calais, which is a 7th-round pick. So that's really no draft capital there. That's not really you're not really tied to him. He just might make the squad. He might not. That's one of those. Let's take a flyer. You know what you do in your 4th rounds? You take a flyer and then you cut that guy doing your roster cuts right now to get ready to trim your roster down the playing side. Same thing. That's what Raymond Calais was. Sorry. I hate talking about players like this because those guys are warriors. I'm sitting on my couch critiquing these things and watching. These guys are actually out there putting their bodies and their lives on the line, taking these mini car crashes. Every collision is a mini car crash. So please don't say this as no disrespect to any of the players. I really don't try to talk down to any player. I cringe when I have to say Raymond Calais. Hey man, we don't care. You were a flyer. You didn't work out. So here comes Fournette. Why was he available? He should not have been available is what I'm saying. But he was, and now he's on Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Whether you Ronald Jones truth or not, Leonard Fournette truth or not, if you like him or not, you hate him or not, I'm not talking about that right now. I'm just talking about what happened. And that's what happened. Leonard Fournette was not supposed to be there, but he was. They trying to win a Super Bowl. They brought him in, signed him. And it's not a knock on Rojo, and it's not a knock on Shady. They saw an opportunity and took it. Now, here's what you want for fantasy purposes. How is this going to work out? Now, we already told you from the beginning, Jason Light is the one tied to Ronald Jones, and Bruce Arians now is pretty much tied to Fournette. It's not a power struggle, but that's pretty much, Fournette was pretty much Arians' idea, and Ronald Jones was pretty much the GM Jason Light's idea. Now, they already had a deal. You could tell that Light had already told him, look, Ronald Jones is my guy. I want you to give him a shot, period. So Bruce Arians like, all right, I'm going to give him a shot. So Ronald Jones will get his shot. Now, if Ronald Jones can come out, catch the ball out the backfield and do what he needs to do and shines, he will hinder Fournette. But if he doesn't come in and do what he wants to do and take over, Arians is sitting right there, can't wait to unleash Leonard Fournette. So that's what you have. That's what the reality of the situation is. So it could go either way. I don't know how it's going. It all depends on Ronald Jones. He comes out and shines. It's his job. If not, it'll end up being a pretty much split backfield between Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones. All right, folks. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. Make sure you comment. Just want to clear up the Leonard Fournette situation. Just want to go all the way straight, trace it all the way back, and bring you all the way up to date and give you the reality. So take you out of fantasy and give you the reality. Now you do with it if you will. Have a good day.